What's going on, everyone? It's Epiphany here, and today I'm going to be making a Marvel Rivals console tier list. Let's, uh, let's move him off the board real quick. Yeah, so today I'm going to be making this tier list for console users and for, competition. This isn't the casual tier list or whatever. It's purely based on my findings and what I believe to be really strong, really weak in the game, based on, I think right now I have well over, so many hours put into the game. It's pretty much all I play anymore, even over Mortal Kombat. But anyways, starting out, all the tiers, meta, this is what you're seeing in most games, and what's going to be primarily either top pick, banned, in tournaments and stuff, what you're going to see as far as, somebody may even protect a character in a tournament because they, I believe, get one protection, depending on what character. Somebody may be really good with a certain character that gets protected, but anyways, we'll start out with that, and then very good. These are picks that are still really good to have on your team, but if you're not, if a lot of the stuff in meta is banned or whatnot, this might be your next pick. Or if some of the other stuff is picked, this will still work with the meta, if not even elevate it to higher, larger heights. Then we have quite good, which is, they're still pretty good. They just are lacking the other very obvious strengths that other characters have, and may struggle against higher, more efficient teams that, meta abuser, or however you want to put it, people that are, actually using meta characters. These characters might have a little bit of a tougher time. Then we have decent. These are kind of the mid-pack, It's not horrible that you have one on your team or two on your team, but it just doesn't put you at the biggest advantage apart from using what's above it. Then we have usable. Yes, you can use it if you have to. Not really looking to use it, but, if you have to, like I said, so many people and players, just only have a certain amount of characters that they use. They haven't played everyone in the roster, so they may only be able to use these characters. So they're still usable, just try to figure out why you're not using anything above this. Not worth the pick. These are characters that you just downright shouldn't be picking and don't play. And I'm not going to put anything in don't play. Just because play whatever you want, it's a game at the end of the day, and you may really be good with that character. I've been known to eat my words on some characters by seeing other people perform and, spectating some games from higher leveled people on console, like in the top 200, top 500 spots and stuff like that. But anyways, starting off on this list, we have Black Widow. Now, Black Widow did get some buffs, and they were pretty nice. Her kit got extended range. which allows her to follow up with a essentially one-shot kill. If somebody tries to dive her, she can one-shot, a squishy that I believe they have to be 250 health or maybe even a little bit less than that, but it does have the potential to one-shot, and it's pretty annoying. I mean, if you're playing a character, like Panther or who's another really good, like Spider-Man, if she manages to kick you in the face, you just shut down. You're like, what just happened? And it has an even better hitbox now, so it doesn't have to be point blank. So she kicks you in the face, grabs you, pulls you, and then shoots you in the face, and you're dead. You're like, what the hell just happened? But I'm gonna say that Black Widow is usable now. I would have put her pre-patch in not worth the pick. She also had her stamina increased on her run, so she can run for a little bit longer, which is nice. A few good buffs. It's in the right direction. I just think she needs a little bit more in the short range department than what she currently has. Personally, I think the character needs a full rework. I think her gun should have the own set of the abilities, and when she switches to her melee, she should have a complete onset, new abilities, new ultimate, new anything. That way, this character has two stances, and the thing that I can kind of compare this to is if you are using a stance switcher, whether it's like in For Honor, you have Medjay, or if you play Smite, King Arthur, one stance has this many abilities, or even Tyr from Smite has sort of that. But I think where she is now is still usable. I wish she was better. Black Widow's a cool character in Marvel and whatnot, so seeing her just not be able to do as much stuff as we know she probably could is a little disappointing. Anyways, moving on, I have Adam Warlock. Now, I want to have this character in 3 different spots for 3 different reasons. Adam Warlock could be in not worth the pick, usable, and decent. Now, hear me out, this is console. He may well be hit scan, and we'll just leave him in usable right now so I don't have to keep my finger on the screen. Hear me out. Adam Warlock on console, yes, it's nice to have hit scan. He does a lot of damage, but he is immobile as shit. He has no version where he escapes Black Panther or Magic. The fact of the matter is that every character besides Black Panther that was a diving character that already gave Panther so much hell got buffed. Panther got nerfed, his shield got nerfed. He's still Black Panther. He just doesn't have as big of a shield. But on console, this character is still flying around the screen so fast that if you don't have somebody who has brain dead auto lock, because on console that's a big issue right now, and separate balancing will not be a thing because PC and console still can play together, so it won't be a thing. However, Adam does have good qualities to him, which is why I would put him in decent as well. Be it his damage, his soul link's really good, and being able to resurrect people on the team. Now, I play Adam. I would say that I mained this character in Season 0. Season 1, not so much, just because all the characters that gave me hell in Season 0 got buffed. Magic got buffed. Bucky got buffed. Panther got nerfed, but Venom got buffed. All these diving characters that gave him hell are now an even bigger problem. And even Storm got buffed. Gave me hell. Because Be it as it may, Adam does a lot of damage, she does more. I could handle a storm in season 0. I cannot handle a storm in season 1 with Adam Warlock. And I have like, I want to say close to 30 hours on the character now. Yeah, it's just not fun. Soul Link's really good. Being able to resurrect your team, really good. Just think this character could be better. And I think we'll stick him... I'll put him in decent. Like he can work. It's just he has issues that could be addressed. I've proposed the idea that maybe put his Soul Link on a shorter cooldown. If it's only going to be, 6 seconds? Make it so it's not such a long cooldown, and give him some sort of movement. This character it feels like you're stuck in the mud without, somebody to grant you movement speed at any point. I mean, he could get like a slow fall even, or some sort of movement ability that allows him to, not get stuck and trashed by these diving characters. But yeah, his every so often you'll see an Adam in your game, and he might give you hell. If you're not diving him, that's on you. Now moving on, Luna Snow. This character's meta. I don't think there's anyone denying that. Healing's really good. DPS is really good. Survivability is amazing. She hits really hard. I mean, borderline DPS kind of damage with her right bumper, which is like her primary damage and healing. Ice, really good. To freeze somebody, you get a free headshot if you land the freeze. And that's a lot of damage that, can sometimes not be out-healed. I mean, if you get everyone to jump onto that freeze, it's really good. And has one of the best ultimates in the game, be it her... she shouts, we're going to put on a show, and then you're pretty much immortal, unless you combo alts in the next year, and you pretty much have to dump so many alts just to kill her, which is insane. Unless you have an Iron Man on the team, which I'll get to in a second. But yeah, Hulk, I'm going to put Hulk in very good, and here's why. Hulk is very good for the reason of he's a really hard to kill tank if played right. His leap can be spammed so much, and you're just punching, shield, jump out, you're solid. And that shield will grant you so much effort, or so much good, because it's pretty much immunity. I mean, it can eat an entire Iron Man ult. It's insane. His survivability is insane. He can help your healers from dying. You leap to them, shield, Hulk protect, so on and so forth. Now, I'm not putting him in meta, because as far as console goes, he grants other characters really good shit. Him by himself, without these characters, is just a good tank. Get what I'm saying? He gives other broke characters that are meta better shit than what he gets in his own right. His ultimate's kind of lackluster. It doesn't last that long. It's not like a, magic ult where you literally are pretty much guaranteed to kill any time. Hulk swings so slow and moves so slow in his ult that he is pretty much not going to get a kill. If you try to go for Hulk slam, that person that's being slammed on the ground, if it's not the healer, is just going to get heal botted to death. I mean, he's not killing anyone with that ult unless he's just constantly clapping. Now, I think a good buff to Hulk, or a quality of life change, is maybe give him a few more seconds in his ult. But other than that, he's fine where he is. Really strong character. Moving on, we have Magic. I think this character is also very good. This character gives so many backliners hell now. She gets a bigger shield from hitting you, so her survivability is better. And if you're getting heal botted or some healer is just literally shoved up your ass for free, this character is not dying. Really hard to track on console and gives so much people. I mean, on console, you see this character banned quite a lot at the higher elo, and it's just insane. Moving on, I guess. I mean, what are we saying here? Black Panther. It's the same thing. Panther is a very good character as well. I would even maybe even put him in meta, but that's very iffy. I could even, I'm gonna put Hulk in meta, just for the things that I said earlier. The people in very good are really good, but Panther needs a certain type of team to play with him. If you are solo queuing as Black Panther, you are not going to have fun. You will not have a team that will cooperate with you, but if you have a stack, Black Panther can be one of the most hellish characters to deal with on console. Be it as it may, it is near impossible to track some of these characters. And Panther hits really hard and can literally dash so many times before you actually catch him. That being said, he has a really good ultimate too. From the back line, he can literally just delete somebody, bait out an ultimate, and then get out. Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch. I have to put Scarlet Witch in the decent tier. She gives Magneto some of the one of the best team ups for a tank. Makes Magneto hit really hard and actually be very oppressive, as he already is very oppressive. But she also, when played properly, can come in really clutch. And like I said, when paired up with Magneto, he can bubble her as she's ulting, and you have to respect it. And if it is a domination game in ranked, and you have to hold this, if you do not have a Strange, or if his shield's broken, which it now takes longer for the shield to come back, you are dying every time to this ult. Her auto lock, really good in console. Don't have to aim, don't have to do shit. Just throw down your whole kit and then solo people from the back line. She can give backliners really, really much hell. That being said, I still think she could get a full kit rework. Maybe take away her infinite. Give her some different sort of projectiles that allow her to, damage multiple targets and not just one. Being restricted to just damaging one target kind of puts her at a disadvantage in that regards, but she can be one of the most strong 1v1 characters if in the right scenario. Moving on, we have Iron Man. I have to say, Iron Man is... Oh, this is Magneto. Iron Man. Iron Man's gonna be... I have to say Iron Man's meta. With that Hulk team up, if Banner is not banned and Iron Man is in the air, there are only, realistically, 3 characters that can put up with his ass. Well, no, 4 characters that can put up with his ass. And that's Storm, Doctor Strange, Psylocke, and Namor. Punisher is a close second to those characters, but with the Gamma Burst, he just gets out fucking pressured, and it's horrible for him. Iron Man hits really hard. He has a ult that can actually destroy every support ult in this game that you find completely annoying to deal with. I mean, you hear it in the background, maximum pulse, and then if your support gets hit by it, you just lost the whole support ult. Whether it's Cloak and Dagger ult, whether it's Invisible Woman, which, as we all know, if he is in that and he sees her, if she steps out of it, that's huge for you. But the blast radius on his ultimate, all he has to do is wait for her to use double jump, then see her. That's it. That's all he has to do. Or Luna ult. You know, get really close to the ground, maximum pulse, hit her instantly, takes away her ult. Same thing with Mantis. Takes away her ult. He is just a all-around very annoying character, if not one of the most annoying characters in this game when he's played right. Now you see a lot of Iron Mans in quick play or in the lower elos that just play him like complete dog shit, not playing him right, don't have the Hulk pairing. Then people thought he was garbage. He's not. He can be really strong, and I do believe that he is a meta pick. Alright, moving on, we have Magneto. Magneto is meta. With the Scarlet Witch team up, yes, you might sacrifice a better pick DPS just to get a good team up with Magneto. But it's almost worth it when this character can just solo healers and just walk at them if he's being heal-botted. And he has a really strong ultimate where he throws, 10 tons of steel on top of somebody and takes them out of the game for quite a minute. He can also one-shot healers while they're ulting to take away their ult. What else does Magneto do? Magneto's just kind of in a weird spot, though. Like, he got better because Strange got worse, but Strange is still strong because Banner. But Magneto's still really good, and I will say he's meta. He does offer the team a lot of utility. His bubble, can shield, an important player on the team that you might not want to die. Shield a tank that, is maybe a little bit overextended and won't have a heal in time. He's like a hidden strategist in that sense. His bubble can come in really clutch. It can even save his own ass if, they have enemy team as a Wolverine and dives him completely and scoops him out of position. That bubble, just being there for a few seconds, can really come in handy. Alright, now we have Spider-Man. Spider-Man is usable or decent. I have to say he's decent. I don't think he's Black Widow type. I don't think he's Black Widow-esque. But he does... See, now this is tricky, because now I'm looking at Adam, and I'm thinking... Adam I'll say is unusable. Spider-Man is more usable than Adam is. Because he's decent. He's hard to track on console. And can just be annoying. I mean, he might not kill a whole lot. He might wait for his ultimate to come. Or he might yank you off the map. But if there is no edge on the map that he can pull you off of, he's just going to be a POS. Most of the time. That's all Spider-Mans are. On console. Even at the higher elo. Now, if you have a really good Spider-Man, I will say he can be in the quite good category, but even still, I think that's putting it a little nicer. His ultimate can be really strong unless you have Penny Parker on the team who just shuts him down. Or Strange that can shield your entire team. Or maybe he just burns a support alt. Either way, it's kind of 50-50. You know, you're flipping a coin every time you do that alt. You're either going to frag and get a complete 5k, or somebody's going to save your ass. Whether it be, you know, netting with Penny Parker, or completely shielding the damage. Or, yeah, completely shielding the damage via alt, or Strange Shield, or Magneto Shield. Or even Hulk Shield. But yeah. Then we have Jeff. Jeff. I think Jeff is in decent. Jeff healing, not the greatest. Jeff DPS, a little bit better. He can be kind of annoying and hard to kill too. But if he takes your team off the map, that in a domination game or even in a convoy, you're just left sitting there like scratching your heads like, how did we let this fucking happen? Then you're screwed. I mean, he'll just walk off the map, get a 5k, then in an OT, and then you just sitting there scratching your heads like, oh god, what the hell just happened? Yeah, Jeff Bubble can also come in handy with movement speed. I do think he's a more useful healer than Adam is. Adam may have a great ult, if your, like, best teammate dies, but saving the entire team or swallowing the entire enemy team and sending them off the map, what sounds better? My thoughts exactly. Squirrel Girl. I think this character got really good. Really good after the changes. She can be a pain in the ass if you do not have the proper characters to deal with her. I have to say, Squirrel Girl is quite good. Either quite good or very good. I have to say she's probably still in quite good for me, because there are counters to her still. Be it as it may. Are they the best counters? No. But they still are counters to her and her damage. She can just give hell to your back line, just constantly throwing nuts to the back line, and then her acorns just will destroy your health bar if you are just sitting in one spot, and some healers will literally do that and end up really regretting it in the long run when you die to 3 projectiles from this character from full screen. Not to mention her ult got better. It, I believe, lasts longer, and now tracks last known position, so it doesn't just bounce randomly. But yeah, she can be a pain in the ass now. Doesn't offer the team a whole lot. I know she gets a bonus to, what is it, Spider-Man and Iron Fist, if they're paired up together with damage bonus, but her team up's not really that great. But she does offer the team a lot of space with her range control. Alright, now we got Loki. I think Loki is quite good as well. I think Loki copying ults can be really good. He's not the best healer on console at the higher elos, but he does offer a lot of annoyance to the enemy team, because you're not quite sure where he's going to TP if you don't have eyes on all of his clones, and then you try to shoot one of his clones, and then, God forbid, he does his, like, indestructible, you know, he spawns the lamps to give AoE healing, that is, like, immortality. It can just be a lot to deal with. And his damage isn't too bad. I will say I do think he could use a buff to some degree, but he still sits in a good enough place that I don't think that will happen. So, be it as it may, do think Loki can work in certain comps, but he does. There are better picks on this list than to go with Loki. Star-Lord. I think Star-Lord is a very good pick. I think Star-Lord alt can make or break a team fight, and if they are not prepared for it, and if your Star-Lord is, timing their ult properly, he can make or break and push a point with ease with this ultimate. He also offers a lot of DPS from the back line. He's diving healers quite a bit. Not exactly a tank buster, but he does offer quite a bit to distract the back line or even take out the back line. He does also have good iframes on his flips, and they are, swift reloads, so he can keep firing as he's doing these flips. Really good. He gets 2 of them. Spins completely all the way around. This is really good for magic because as he's doing this, he gets iframes, which means he is immune to any sort of damage. Or not any sort of damage. He still can get damaged in it, I believe. But he can't be, displaced, which is really good. And then he can just get out. He's got thrusters. He can just get the hell out of there. If he didn't get a kill, he's like, alright, maybe I burnt some sort of cooldown. I'm just gonna bounce. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I do think he struggles into certain matchups, such as the meta picks in this game, such as Iron Man, Hulk team up. I think he is not beating an Iron Man's Unibeam 9 times out of 10. He's probably swinging more like 7-3, maybe 6-4 if the Star-Lord knows how to aim with this character. But Iron Man's just gonna shred him 10 times out of 10. Or in my eyes, I believe that Iron Man should win that fight every time. That being said, let's move on to Storm. This character got so good after the buffs. I believe she is meta. If you are not taking her out of this game via a ban or with counter picks and not targeting the absolute hell out of her, she is going to make or break your game. If you are not picking this character, pick this character. Her Hurricane ultimate can give you such a good push opportunity, whether it's Convoy on attack, Convoy on defense, or Domination. You can get such a good push out of this ability. You can bait ultimates, wait for an ultimate to be used. If you were pairing it with a team that gets the gets the opportunity to bait, like Lunal, then all you hear is Storm ult going off, and then you die. Pretty much set and done. Now let's go to Punisher. Punisher. God, where do I want to put Punisher? Punisher, I have to say, with Rocket Team Up, very good. Without Rocket Team Up, somewhere around here. I have to say probably quite good. Squirrel Girl and him offer the same thing, which is they're both annoying characters when you're not diving them. If you dive these characters, they offer nothing for your team. Punisher does not win most 1v1s in this game if he is being dived. If he's being dove. That being said, a prepared Punisher can still win a 1v1 if he gets dove. I just think it is more likely for him to lose those engagements. Especially with such a good dive meta now. He is not one of those... He's not one of those characters that puts up with dives the best. Shotgun, really good. But by the time he gets his shotgun out in some scenarios, you know, if magic catches him off guard, he's already dead. His ultimate has the potential to kill a lot of support alts like Luna and Mantis and even Cloak and Dagger. But in order to do it, you have to be so precise. And I mean super precise. He does get good team up with Rocket, be it in the form of infinite ammo and a DPS, damage per second, buff. He gets faster rate of fire. So he can shred longer and shred better. But he is stuck to a certain point. Thor, this character is, in my opinion, meta. If you pair Thor with Storm, oh my god, you're just walking at the enemy team at that point. Thor takes so little damage, he has such a high health pool, and you can just constantly throw heals on top of him as he's getting shield for diving the back line. Now he's doing it with Storm and gives her a really good buff. He is not going to be a character that is slept on. I will not stand for it. He hits so hard, is a huge tank, has a huge health pool, and gives a newly strong character another tool to her kit. He just now gives her a better tool to dive backline. And it's really painful, you know? They're making this dive meta, and I'm not here for it as an Adam player and, you know, a little bit more of a patient player myself. Venom. I think Venom's decent. I don't think he's still great. I just think he's alright. You know, you got Venom 1-tricks out there that are doing all this crazy shit, but, you know, that's mainly due to the fact that, you know, 9 out of 10 teams that you fight against just, they don't know how to deal with you if you're actually playing the character a different way. And are using his better engagement tool, which is his dive, which you should be using most of the time when you were playing this character. If you are not diving, not timing your cooldowns properly, you're just a loser. And you're going to lose games. But I will say that I think he is decent. I don't think he's going to be picked over what's above him as far as tanks go, like Magneto, Banner, Thor, these type of characters. But he does have the potential to even do more damage. I mean, he got buffed, he got shield buffs, he got his ultimate buffed. This character has the potential to have, what is it, like 1800 HP? Or, what is it, like 1900 HP if he hits the entire enemy team with his ult, it's pretty outrageous. But he's still lacking in the department of what does he do when he's in. I mean, he's just kind of being annoying at that point. And if the enemy team has a Wolverine or Magic that is actually helping the back line, which I believe that those characters can do and sometimes should do, they'll give him hell. Bucky. Moving on to Bucky. I'm going to say Bucky is meta. I think Bucky getting buffed was a questionable decision, as this character already hit hard, already had a good ultimate, already had a good team up with Rocket, already had shield on his abilities, swift reload off of his abilities. You know, what more can you ask for on a character? And then they said, you know what would be crazy? Let's give him more shield. Like, what's next? We're gonna give him 5 bullets in the clip instead of 3? Screw off. Like, this character didn't need to get buffed. He was already really, really, really good. I just think, as far as the meta went, beforehand, he just, you know, in Season 0, he was lacking something. And they were like, you know, this is what he's lacking. But now in this season, it feels like people are now starting to understand that this character is insane. Wolverine. I will say, I think he is, like, if we're ordering Wolverine, I think Wolverine is either indecent or like a low end of quite good. And hear me out. He doesn't do the best versus DPS, but he can get, or he gives tanks absolute hell. Tanks just lose to this character over and over again. He gets scoop. If you are a tank, which the worst scenario is you are playing like Groot, this character will bring you to your team, abduct you, and just end your life in a second. If your team is actually playing around you, Wolverine is one of the best characters to deal with frontliners, because he can just bring you to your team and eradicate you. He's not the best in 1v1 scenarios with some of the DPS, but he is a great tank buster. You can also get a really clutch ultimate and take out the entire team with his ult. And he does have some of the best survivability as a DPS, which is why I'll say that he's actually probably in the lower end of quite good. But I'm gonna keep him at the high end of decent. You know, we don't know yet. Moving on, we have Captain America. I think Captain America is... I think Captain America is... with Storm team up, or with Thor team up, very good. Quite good by himself. Well, I mean, if we're going off that logic, I put Banner up there, so Captain America, Captain America isn't very good. Now, mind you, this is console tier list. He's kind of hard to track, but if you don't have a character like Wolverine to abduct him, he's annoying as hell. If the team is not fully committed to targeting him, which most of the time what Captain America is doing is giving the backline hell, and then he's getting out. And then he can also create a one-way trip to the back line with his ultimate and give them even more hell. And that's a great tool to have. I will say his ultimate is really good and really underused, and if used properly, you're not losing to the back line ever. Mantis. Let's just say it. Mantis is meta. She hits hard as a support. She's very mobile. Her passive makes her very mobile. She can heal herself with ease. She can damage buff your team that some of the time is already hitting way too hard. And she gets brain dead healing that heals you over time. And doesn't have to, direct hit you with a primary fire. So I will say Mantis is really good. Also, really strong ultimate. You're invincible around her pretty much, and then you're just buffing everyone's damage and destroying them. Then you put people to sleep. It's like, what do you do at that point? Have to Iron Man ult it, or maybe even Squirrel Girl ult it, but you are not killing her. I mean, you might get a clutch Wolverine scoop and take her off the map, but that's very situational. Character's really still really strong. That being said, let's move on to Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger is now meta. I don't care what anyone says. This character offers so much healing and so brain dead healing. I mean, I've seen more Lord Cloak and Daggers than I've seen any other character in this game, just because of how easy it is to get her there with healing alone and, damage. She's always getting assists, or always getting kill credit, because she has auto lock abilities and infinite in her cloak stance. This form of character was really strong to begin with, and then they buffed her healing, gave her an extra dash in the ultimate, so it now lasts longer. Just because the animation takes, a little bit longer, or I think it's like 2 seconds longer before it's ended. So in return, the ultimate lasts 2 seconds longer. She offers blinds, healing, AoE healing, damage, survivability. She can make the entire team immune with the flick of a button in cloak stance. It's what more can you ask for? She's a really well-rounded character. But moving on, we're gonna have Mr. Fantastic. Now, Mr. Fantastic, I think, is also in the decent category. I don't think he's the strongest character in the world. I think his ultimate can be really annoying. The character puffs up really annoying. But I can't say that he's better than a character like Punisher or Squirrel Girl, because if the entire team targets him, it is harder for him to get away and survive than you think, because he's realistically diving with another squishy, and then all he's doing is trying to link to them to get out of there. But then you get out of there if this person's also getting attacked with a dive comp, because he can dive. He can also protect the back line, which I think it's better to play Mr. Fantastic with your team than to dive. But that's besides the point. That's my personal opinion. I don't think he's that great of a character. He does a lot of damage. when he's puffed up and in his inflated state. But as far as ultimates go and damage goes, they're just better team. Better people to use. Moon Knight, this character is fucking slept on. This character is very good. Moon Knight and his Ankhs can really give your backline hell. If he's placing his Ankhs preemptively and also during combat, your Moon Knight knows what he's doing. If he's... Excuse me. If he's placing his Ankhs on doorways and shit, he knows what he's doing. But most of the time, it's just random bullshit. Go, let's go. Ultimate got better, so it just shreds. If you have a rocket ultimate with Moon Knight ult, it literally will kill Luna. Insane. Insane to think about. And his survivability is not too bad. I mean, his glide is relatively slow and can be easily tracked, but his survivability isn't horrible. It's better than a character like Adam, for example. Next on our list, we have Doctor Strange. This character's still meta. I think Doctor Strange is still oppressive. I just think he got a little bit worse and a little bit more normalized. Maelstrom of Madness, which is his Expel Darkness move, that, you know, like as part of his passive where he stacks it, does a lot of damage still, but it got normalized. It has damage fall off based on range. With Banner, does not fucking matter. That damage drop off is non-existent when you have the Banner upgrade. Ultimate's really good, very useful for the team. Portals come in clutch. If your Strange knows how to use portals, that's even better. Can also block a shit ton of damage before his shield breaks. And can offer the backline and the frontline help. He's just overall a really good character in general. And, you know, I'm waiting for this character to get a real nerf. Also, melee weaving, melee weaving with this character is essential. If you're not doing that, you're missing out on damage. Alright, moving on. Groot. Groot is either meta or very good. There's no denying it. This character does so much damage, has so much health, and can be a pester no matter where he is. He's 9 times out of 10 being... I'm going to put him in meta. 9 times out of 10 he's being heal botted. And on a 900 HP character, he's not dying unless you have a Wolverine. Which is crazy to think about. But he just allows so much. He just has to be targeted by every DPS to kill him sometimes. And that's crazy to think about. Because most of the tanks in this game just have to have, you know, 1 or 2 people hitting them, and they don't even have to be DPS. I genuinely think that 2 DPS have to hit this character to kill him if he is being heal botted. He will not die, even to a Wolverine scooping him up. Wolverine can get him out of position, but somebody else needs to be hitting this character for him to die. Most of the time, at a higher elo. Namor. Namor is meta. I don't care what anyone says. This character is really good. His turrets are really good. His ult is really good. He can grant so much displacement. Even if his ultimate doesn't kill, he still, you know, gives you that splatter effect where you fall on your ass. Everyone who falls on their ass is pretty much dead. Pretty much dead. As long as your team is not dumber than a box of rocks, the enemy team, if they fall on their ass, should die. He hits really hard too. I mean, he can literally, what, 3-shot headshot somebody? It's no hella, but he will destroy you. From his range that he should be playing at. I think he can 2-shot headshot you. Hawkeye, character's still fucking brain dead. The nerf is not even noticeable at high elo because most of the time now he's just playing with his team. All they did is make his range for focus have to be closer. That is it. I think what they need to do is make his shot, make his damage fall off even with focus exist. Make it so this character has damage fall off with 100% focus. Because if you're just getting 100% focus and then one-shotting somebody from hitting him in the head, it's stupid. I mean, you're literally half-healthing a 650 HP tank just by hitting them in the head with 100% focus and a very generous hitbox. They could also shrink the range at which his sword hits you to where it's more in tune with Black Widow pre-patch, where it pretty much had to be on top of you for him to just slingshot you away from him. Pretty insane. I mean, his leap on its own, shit. If the character didn't have focus, that leap is garbage. But with focus, that leap is so good and can give you repositioning tool that you otherwise wouldn't have. Penny Parker is quite good. I don't think Penny Parker is broken, and I don't think Penny Parker is bad. Penny Parker is in mid-pack. Penny Parker, if her nest is not being taken out, is the most annoying character in the game. If your DPS are flat out refusing to kill this nest or try to find it, you are losing games to Penny Parker. Target her nest when you see her. Because if she is just sitting on her nest, 1, she has more health when it is out. 2, she gets regenerating health when it's out if she is sitting on it. 3, if you dive on it with a melee character and she webs you, you die. That's it. Have fun. How was it playing the game against Penny Parker? And her mines do so much damage. If you walk over them and do not manage to avoid them, you are eating 50, I think it's 50 damage. You eat 5 of these, you're eating 1,000 damage. What just happened? That's crazy. Getting back to desktop site. Thank you. But like Penny Parker is either fragging because her nest is not being taken out or selling because she's being targeted. Repositioning really good. Her ult is solid. Still can be killed in it if people are targeting her and she's not being healed through it. Wolverine can scoop her while she's still ulting. She is not displaceable, or she's not indisplaceable when she is ulting. You can still push her with abilities. Go figure. Please take out her nest. Start doing this. Otherwise, you are going to think that this character is broken when she is not. Moving on. Hella's still meta. I don't care what anyone says. You're seeing less Hellas being picked because she's less brain dead. Those are meta abusers. She's still meta. I just don't think she's near some of the other characters in like meta placement anymore. but she's still up there. She's still very strong. She still hits really hard, still has a really good ultimate. I mean, she is one of the few characters in this game where you get killed in your ultimate and actually do not die. I think she's the only character that has that happen, besides maybe Hulk. If you die in Hulk ult, you don't die. If you die in Hela ult, you don't die. It's quite insane. But yeah, definitely still meta. Psylocke, character still meta. Pain in the ass. Most people that play this girl at high elo are just playing her to dive healers because that's really what's going on. She is so good in 1v1s and even 1v2s she can handle. She can take out Iron Man in the air with ease. I mean, you go invisible, throw stars at her, you get a shield. Now you're in an advantage on a character that gets Gamma Boost, Unibeam. Think about that. And also has one of the best ultimates in the game as far as damage goes, because it's an AoE brainless damage mechanic that, if positioned right, can take out the entire team. And you will not die. Unless two scenarios happen. You die to random bullshit happening because she's very untrackable in this ult. But you can die to Iron Man ult or Magneto ult, pretty much. Those are like the only ones that I've seen her die to. Moon Knight ult may be able to. It seems like it should. But other BS, has happened before. I don't know what happened here. But yeah. Invisible Woman. This character is meta. I don't care what anyone says, she is. I think she's really, really, really strong. Her push can offer her push-pull mechanic can offer the team great utility as far as either gatekeeping somebody from trying to run away or getting somebody the fuck off of you. Which this character is really good at doing in two ways. Her melee can push people the hell off of you, and her push-pull mechanic can get people the fuck off you. Her dot damage can hold choke points really well. You can even push them or pull them into it. You're constantly being slowed while you're getting hit by this. And taking damage. So it's a win-win if you even manage to hit somebody with this. Which it's not that hard. It's a giant AoE bubble. You can literally block off doorways. Ultimate, really broken. Same thing with support ults that are really broken. You just watch it, and if you don't have a properly timed ult, you're just staring at her invisible fortress for a few seconds until it goes away. Her healing's really solid too. It's up there with, Cloak and Dagger. You can get really big numbers in healing. And good damage overall. Like, this character can destroy people. I mean, she can push people off ledges. Similar to like what Spider-Man's like to do, or even Wolverine's. But yeah, overall, just a really solid character. Good shield too. I didn't even talk about that. Can go invisible. When she's invisible, she's regaining health on her own. And yeah, just really useful for the team. Overall, a really good meta character. Rocket. I'm going to be bold on this one, and I'm going to say Rocket is quite good. I think we're underestimating Rocket. I think this character is still a lackluster healer in long term. Like, he's pumping numbers with healing, but he is hard as hell to kill. can do damage to tanks. I mean, he's a tank buster after all. Can pump numbers. But where he really shines is having the ability to resurrect teammates and buffing ultimates that are already strong. I mean, you see a Luna ult happening, you put down the amplifier, Moon Knight ults, she dies. You put down the amplifier, Storm ult, she dies. As long as you break that overshield, Luna Snow can be killed with this amplifier with certain ults. Let that sink in. Sure, you have to use 2 ults, and some might say that's, burning a few too many resources, but DPS build up so much. Some DPS, such as Moon Knight, build up so much ultimate because of how brainless their damage is. Iron Fist. I think Iron Fist is usable, but I don't think he's completely shit. I do think Iron Fist is, when played properly, can be really annoying and hard to track. But if your entire team jumps him, he is one of the worst characters in the game. And that's just facts. This character on release, people were saying, oh my god, he's broken. And I will say, I think auto-lock mechanics are really stupid and shouldn't exist in a game like this. When it comes to damage, auto-lock should not be a thing. You should have to work for it. But yeah. And as far as ordering goes, I'm just gonna kind of order this how I would think. Maybe. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. So that is my ordering. Oh, hang on. Yeah, so that is my ordering for this tier list. And I will just say I think that's pretty fair. Some of you might not agree with it. That's fine. It's tier list, not for everyone. I was just trying to give us my reasoning for a console tier list. After all, you know, I may be wrong on some characters. Maybe you agree with me. Maybe you don't. If you do, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.